Welcome back in, everyone. We're joined by Noel Banam of AARP Maine, Maine State Director. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's an important topic that we're going to discuss.
Thank you for having me.
So first, it's no secret that Maine is one of, if not the oldest state in terms of the age of our population. And so how many Mainers, older Mainers, are relying on Social Security to live right now by your numbers?
There's about 355,000 Mainers who receive Social Security benefits in Maine. Mm-hmm. About 44% of them are older Mainers, 65 and older. Yeah. And most of them actually depend on Social Security for at least half, if not all, of their monthly income.
Yeah, I think it's important to drive that point home, that this isn't just, supplemental income for people. This is what they live on. This is how they put food in the cupboard and, get their basic necessities.
Correct. I mean, Social Security was never intended to be the sole source of income, but that is the reality for many Mainers and for many older adults across the country.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, like you said, it's very important to make sure that people realize that, it is the sole source of income.
Yeah. So, in your view, with everything that we've been hearing, out of Washington and about programs being cut, altered, what, in your view, how real is the danger of Social Security being cut based on everything that you know right now?
It is very real, unfortunately, because as long as Congress does not acknowledge the fact that Social Security is an earned benefit, that people who have been working have been paying from every paycheck into Social Security, that when they get older, that they're able to, get that Social Security benefit. It's an earned benefit. People have earned that benefit. Yeah. And I think sometimes when you listen into conversations that Congress is having, you can tell that they're not, keeping that fact at the core of their conversations. Right. That's one. And it's not only what's happening in terms of the policy, in terms of protecting Social Security, it's also about what's happening with the Social Security administration. Staff are being let go, people are having to wait longer. We know that someone who's, filing a disability claim has to wait 8 months for a response. And if they're denied, that could take another 8 to 9 months again. Yeah. That just is not okay.
Yeah, these are dire circumstances.
These are very dire circumstances, and we need to be taking these very seriously.
Well, we know that AARP has a long and storied history of advocating for older Americans, and so what is AARP of Maine doing either in our state or in Washington to drive these points home and to try and protect Social Security?
We know that Social Security is one of the most important issues, if not the single most important issue for older adults across the country, but definitely in Maine. All the research that we've done, all the surveys we've done, all the polls we've done, that comes up as one of the top 3 issues, if not the number 1 issue all the time. Yeah. And so what we've been doing is we've been really working with, of course, nationally with all members of Congress, all the AARPs in different states. The AARP state offices are working with their members of Congress. Similarly, we are too with our delegation in Maine. Our volunteers who are just absolutely amazing volunteers who are knocking on the doors of members of Congress and telling them, our delegation, and telling them how important Social Security is. Right now it's recess, April recess for members of Congress. Yeah. So we have a good number of volunteers visiting offices of members of Congress in Presque Isle, in Bangor, in Lewiston, and Portland. Just so that our delegation hears directly from older adults about the concerns they have for Social Security. We're also doing a whole lot of education, across the board, people of all ages, so that they know how important Social Security is, because often people seem to think that it's only for older adults, like when you've reached a certain age. Yeah. And the other area we're working on is we're working as a fierce defender to protect the Social Security administration, to kind of make sure the customer service is, at the level it needs to be. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, we could talk about this all night. Unfortunately, we don't have all night, but hopefully we can have you back soon and continue the conversation.
I hope so.
We thank you for coming in and seeing us tonight.
Thank you for covering this topic.
All right. Yeah. Well, folks, we'll be right back with your extended forecast.